Mediocrity is the first step. Every time I try to start a project, a little bit of work to try and build something new, I feel like I'm starting it again. There's no mastery, there's no momentum. I'm just a complete beginner. I'm always like learning, I'm always improving, but I'm never arriving anywhere. And this week, especially with YouTube, it's really frustrating. I've been doing this channel since May last year, so the best part of, like 9-10 months. And every single week, it feels like I'm starting again, like I am a complete beginner with the camera, with the script, with the whole thing. I can't shake the feeling that shouldn't I be further along by now? And the thing is, it's not just with YouTube that I feel like this, it's with my coaching, it's with my music, it's with my writing, with my running, even with fatherhood, I guess. Shouldn't I be further along by now? I keep pushing through, telling myself it's gonna click eventually, and yet deep down, I cannot escape the feeling, what happens if I'm just not cut out for this? What happens if I'm just not good enough? Now look, this might be my first YouTube channel, but it's not my first rodeo. I felt exactly like this 4 years ago, but it wasn't just about a single project, creative or otherwise. It was about my entire life. I felt like a quitter, I felt like a loser, I felt like I couldn't see anything through. But it's not the case, I'm just wired differently. And when I realized that 4 years ago, it changed everything. I haven't had a terrible career or anything. In fact, it's been a pretty impressive career on paper. It looks really good. I spent 10 years working in arts and film and music, moving between Newcastle in the UK and then over in Berlin. I was even a musician who seemed to pay his way, managed to pay his rent for a bit like that. I then moved into journalism and technology, and that was really exciting. I was traveling all over from Senegal to Serbia, building open source newsrooms. I joined a really brilliant social media startup in Dublin, which we sold to News Corp of all people, and I went and worked for Rupert Murdoch. We keep that quiet though. Then I came back to Europe, mainland Europe, worked in the Netherlands, running a big non-profit that was doing loads of great work for journalism. So by any stretch of the imagination, it's a really good career. But for the longest time, I viewed that career as an abject failure. I really thought that I wasn't doing anything good because I kept moving between stuff really quickly. And honestly, I still think about it like that today. If I'm being really honest, in my darkest moments when I let the demons take over, I view my career as a failure. When I look at everybody who I respect and who I've ever looked up to, they've always been an expert in the field. They have climbed a ladder in a particular discipline and reached the very, very top. From journalists to novelists to musicians, that's just what they do. And me, I feel like I keep moving. I feel like I don't stick with anything. I just jump from job to job, genre to genre, sector to sector, industry to industry. I felt like, and I feel like I'm always starting over. I'm always a complete beginner. Then one day, a single book completely flipped that story on its head. I learned that I wasn't aimless, that my life wasn't pointless, that I wasn't just hopping around between things, that I wasn't lacking commitment or staying power or intelligence or drive. In fact, I was just wired differently. I was somebody who thrived on learning. I was somebody who wanted to learn, build, grow, and then move on to the next challenge. I valued learning above all else, and I was destined to be someone who did many different things, sometimes at the same time, sometimes after each other. And I learned from the book by Emily Wapnick, How to Be Everything. I learned the term multipotentialite. Some people also know this as a multi-hyphenate or even just a generalist, but the idea is that while some people love to go deep in a single field, we multipotentialites thrive on many And multipotentialites, we learn fast, we connect ideas in unexpected ways, and that has a lot of value, but it also means we struggle in traditional career structures. We struggle with our identities. We find it really hard to pull a through line and tell a great story about our career or who we are as people. It often leads me as well to feeling like I'm not enough. The pressure to prove myself is immense, and I always have imposter syndrome. Everybody else seems ahead of me. I'm always late to the party, and I'm always a beginner, never the expert, and I'm always starting from scratch. And for years I saw these things as complete failures. I was just like, why do I keep moving between stuff? I am not able to stick at anything. I don't have the determination, I don't have the intelligence, I don't have the commitment, I do not have the staying power to make it, not just in this job, but any job. I am not enough. That is what I kept telling myself the whole time. But then I realized, and that book helped me, what if the problem is like my definition of success? What if I'm not meant to just do one thing? What happens if you're a generalist in the world of specialists? How can you turn that into a strength and turn that into a superpower? What if that was my superpower? I'm not quitting, I'm not lost, I'm just wired really differently from a lot of other people. And the second I saw it that way, everything completely changed. So what I did was build a business. I took that business and I made it my own. I made myself be able to work on whatever projects I wanted with whatever clients I wanted, and I could work on tons of different stuff. I do coaching, I do consultancy, I do research, I work on product. I'm building this YouTube channel, I've got a newsletter, I write all the time, I try and lean into my music. I do all of those things in both a professional capacity and a personal capacity. And all of my clients are all working on different stuff. Some of them are in journalism, some of them are in climate, some of them work for non-profits, some of them work for for-profits, they're in the startup space, they're looking for investment, somebody's writing a book. I'm helping all of these people and I'm learning stuff the whole time. So I'm leaning into my superpower, I'm leaning into that multipotentialism as a strength, not a weakness. And in some ways I've turned it into my USP because I now have such a broad base of skills. I've done so many things in my life. It's hard to find anyone else who has done that. I've done all of this stuff and I can lean on all of those things and I can take something from all of those things, and it's really exciting. It makes me what I am, and it is my unique selling point. It's not my knowledge, but my experience that allows me to work with people really effectively and get so much joy from what I'm doing. You've got to understand there is always going to be doubt, that is always going to be there. Refocus on the work, not the uncertainty. Spend time on doing what you do and don't give in to the nagging doubts. Don't let that sap your energy. You don't have a lot of time in each space because you're going to move on soon. So you need to maximize that, and you really have no time to tell yourself that you're not good enough. It's completely pointless. Know that everybody feels like this. The doubt will always be there. The trick is to keep going anyway. Speaking of which, woodpecker. Time to head back. Man, spring just started. Like, comes really slowly and then all at once in this part of the world. It's quite incredible. It's just beautiful today. I did a running video a couple of weeks ago. It's -5. Now it's 15 degrees. Beautiful. Look, here's the truth. No one likes feeling like a beginner. It's absolutely exhausting. The pressure to be great right now, the pressure to be completely excellent, man, it's so tiring. That voice in your head whispering, you should be further along now. I'm completely sick of it. But I have found a way to make that voice quieter. It doesn't go away completely. The doubt will always be there. The key is to push on regardless. You need to know everyone feels this way sometimes. Both in life and on YouTube, people who look confident, people who look like they've figured stuff out, they're also on a journey. They're also going through this process of not really knowing what's happening with their lives. I don't feel like I have stuff figured out. I am going on this journey constantly. I'm working really hard at it, but I'm not there. And if I'm not there, chances are the people that I'm looking up to are not there either. So next time we feel like we're starting from scratch, no momentum, no mastery, we don't know what's going on, where every video or every project feels like a reset, where we feel like a complete beginner, we need to tell ourselves this. That's not a problem. That's just how this works. I am not failing. I'm just beginning again. Like, subscribe. Thanks so much for being here.